Hello guys, welcome to the video. In this one we're gonna prepare tiles for the tile system. It will take a bit of a time to make, but it's gonna save us time in the long run. We're gonna start by making a new scene. So first of all, go here and save the scene you have. Then let's go to scene folder and let's make a new one. And I'm gonna name it as level 1. All right, now you can go to this scene. And if you ever need to go back and check something, you can just select sample scene. It's going to be here. Okay. Next goal would be to go to meshes, environment, and here we have tiles. We need to drag it into the scene like that. We need to do prefab unpack completely. And we're going to start dragging tiles that we're going to use and make them as a prefab. So first of all, we need tile main. So I'm going to drag it here and I'm going to move it out. Now let's rename it to tile main road, or maybe just tile road. Let's focus on this. So because it's a road, we need to change layer to road. We need to change material. And for road, we're going to use this material over here, tile material 1. We also want to add box collider. And tile is ready. This was easy. Now let's duplicate it, move it out, and let's rename this to tile field. Field tile should have a different material. So I'm going to go to materials and I'm going to select tile material 2. There are options. You can select this one if you want, or maybe even this one. But as of now, let's use dark one by default. Okay. Now this one should not be road, so we're going to make it as default. Okay. Very good. Now let's take the, we're done with this one. We don't need anything else. Now let's take tile main half, drag it here, and let's rename it to tile sideway. I'm going to drag it out over here. And now we need to duplicate this tile. Pay attention. We need to duplicate it. We need to bring it to the left and down on Y. Actually, I think it's better to make it as a child first. So let's drag it here. And let's rename it to tile sideway road. Now, position on the X for this tile should be minus 0.5. So it's supposed to take half of the entire tile. Then we need to do minus 0.1 on the Y to bring it down. Just so we can have sideways like this one over here. Wait, like this one over here. As you can see, it's a tile that is cut in half. Okay, that's what we need to do. All right. Now this is good. The layer should be changed to road, and this one can be default. Now we need to change materials. For this one, it's going to be 2. For this one, it's going to be 1. Yes. And we can select them both and add box collider. All right. Now each of them having half of a collider, and it's going to be useful for us when we use navigation system. And having different colliders will help us to apply NavMesh correctly in the future. Okay. Now we need to make corners. Let's duplicate the sideway, bring it over here, and we can just simply replace mesh on these tiles. I'm going to just rename this to inner corner. And this should be inner corner road. For the parent object, we need to find inner corner, like that. For child object, we need to find outer corner quarter, like that. It is misplaced, but it's fine. We can just make 0 on the X. Gonna be like that. Now let's select them both, and let's remove box collider. And we're going to apply mesh collider. All right. Now here, if you want to save some processing power, which is not really that big of a deal, but why not to share? You can apply convex. Do it like that. And now Unity will sort of like wrap the collider with a wrap film. You know, imagine that you're doing that. And it's gonna sort of find the edges and make collider according to edges. Because of that, it's gonna have less sides on the collider, which makes it easier to calculate. For this tile, it's not really possible, because if we do that, if we apply convex, then Unity will make collider from this corner to this, and it will not consider these deepened parts over here. Okay, so I'm gonna uncheck convex for this one, and I'm gonna reset positions to what it was. Okay, now I'm gonna select them again, just so you can compare it to mine. This is what I have. This should be 1.1. Okay, good. Now let's duplicate this one. We're gonna duplicate it, move it out, and we're gonna apply different meshes. This should be outer corner, and actually it's a quarter of a corner, but I'm not planning to use other corners we have in the tiles prepared, so I'm just gonna name it as outer corner. You'll see what I mean in a second. Let's do outer corner, and for this one gonna be outer corner road. Okay, let's select this. Let's go to meshes, and over here you can see we have outer corner and outer corner quarter. Through a bit of a practice with the creation of levels, I learned that these tiles are not used as much, so I'm not going to make them. But if you want, you can make these tiles in the same way as we do these two. And if they find a place for your levels, they easily can be used. For me, I think I can avoid using them for now. Later on, if I need them, I'm going to add them, and I'm going to show you how to add them. But basically, it's just applying this mesh instead of this one. That's it. So now we're going to apply this outer quarter mesh. Let's select it. Then for the child object, we need to find inner corner and apply it like that. Now, if you take Mesh Collider and try to reset it, it will not help, because collider of a Mesh Collider is defined by the mesh assigned in the component. So no matter what you do, if you try to reset it or click Convex, it will still have the same collider as it was with the previous mesh, unless you replace mesh on the component itself, or you could simply remove the Mesh Collider and put a new one. Then it will have a proper colliders according to the mesh we have on the game object. You can see if I try to reset colliders, it will not help. All what you need to do is just to remove component and then add Mesh Collider again. Then it will be fine. Yeah, delete the old one and add new Mesh Collider, like that. Okay, this is good. For this one, I'm gonna remove and add Mesh Collider just in case. Then on the Y, it should be -0.1. Nice, we have another corner. Okay, took a bit longer with these two, but it's fine. We need them in the future. Now, this could be enough for practice with the system, but I'm also using these hills and bridges in my levels. So I want to show you how to make these, then we're going to jump to the next video, okay? Let's take this sideway, let's duplicate it, move it here. We're going to change name to Tile Bridge Sideway. And over here, we're going to duplicate the child and rename it to Tile Bridge. And then we're going to find a mesh and use this bridge road middle, like that. Very nice. That's all what we need. I think for this one, we should adjust position. So I'm going to do 0 on the X. And regarding the Y, I'm not sure. Let me double check. Supposed to be 0 on the Y. So let's try to set 0 over here. In the future, if we need to adjust it, we can. So now we have a sideway, and we need to do same trick with main field and main road. Or I can simply, now let's duplicate the road tile. Let's change it to tile, bridge, road. Then we need a child. We need a child object. I can just take the bridge, copy, paste, move it over here, and then reset position on the Z, like that. Very good. I like it. Now for the field, we can just take this tile, move it here. Let's rename it to tile bridge field. And let's take the bridge, copy, paste, move it to the tile bridge field over here, like that. And reset Z. Alrighty, this should be good. We don't need many, and this should be enough for the system. Later on, if we need some more, we can make them. Now let's go to prefab folder. Let's make folder for tiles. We're gonna open it, and we're gonna take corner, inner corner, bridge sideway, bridge, oh no, just sideway, bridge field, the bridge road, and the road, just like that. Oh, hills, I forgot about hills. Let's take the road, let's duplicate it, move it over here. I'm gonna do prefab unpack completely, and we need to name it as tile hill 1. Then let's duplicate it, move it here, tile hill 2, and let's duplicate it and make tile hill 3. Okay, now for the first one, we need to change mesh to tile hill 1. And we want to remove box collider, add mesh collider. For the second one, hill 2, remove box collider, add mesh collider. For the third one, tile hill 3, remove box collider, add mesh collider. When you select these tiles, and if you have a pivot point over here selected instead of center, you can see that center point is below the tile. But it's okay, that's how we need it to be. Because when we want to replace main tile with a hill should be placed automatically above the level of the ground. Like over here, for example. I want to select tile, and I want to replace it with a hill. I'm just clicking hill, and it's placed there automatically. But pivot point is still below. That's the idea. That's why we have it like this. Okay, now let's make prefabs out of this, and we can go to the next video. Yeah, this is pretty much everything we need. Took a bit longer than I expected. I hope you can forgive me that. But now we are ready. Let's go to the next video.